Another rapturous welcome from the men from St. Senans of Kilkee as they come out to try and take a second bite of the cherry for 2003's Auburn Lodge County Clare Senior Football Championship Final. This afternoon their line out looks like Kevin Hart is in goals. The full back line, Brendan Smith wears 2, Ger Crotty wears number 3 on the programme. Number 4 is taken up by Christopher Kerwin. The half back line on the right flank is John Enright. At centre back is Derek Kelly, and on the left flank is Brian McNamara. The centre field pairing consists of the Russell brothers again, Dennis and David wearing number 16, captains the side. And then in midfield, Jimmy Larkin the half forward line rather, Jimmy Larkin wears number 10. Michael O'Shea is at centre forward, and then at the right hand side on the 40 is Michael Keane. The full forward line, Noel O'Shea wearing number 13 in the corner, Barry Hart wears number 14 at full forward, and at top of the right, Ger Keane comes into the action wearing 17. Their opponents this afternoon, the Shamrocks from Kilrush, line out with Fergal Maguire between the posts. The full back line, Kevin Brown wearing 2, Martin Griffin at full back, and John Griffin wearing number 4. The half back line, John Clancy wears 5, Noel Griffin is at centre half back for the Shamrocks, and wearing number 7 is Kevin O'Brien. The midfield pairing, who done ever so well on the Russell brothers last time out, Donal O'Sullivan wears 8 and John Moody wears 9. The half forward line, David O'Shea at 10, at centre forward position is Patter McMahon, who captains the side, and Alan Daly wears number 12. The full forward line, at top of the left, Daniel Ryan. At full forward, Rory Cusson. And wearing number 20 into the action today comes Senan Corrie at number 20. Michael Talty officiates the Senior County Championship final this afternoon. Done a good job the last day, and he's helped out by John Garvey, Patrick Keane, Tommy Hawk and Jerry Corrie. Well, thank God this afternoon we don't have the rain to spoil what should be an entertaining evening football. However, there is a small blustery wind out there in Cusack Park. At the moment it's blowing from the left to the right. We'll see. And so then team captains being brought together just before the match. Patter McMahon, of course, wearing number 11 at centre forward for Kilrush Shamrocks this afternoon. He squares up against David Russell, captaining the St. Senans Kilkee side, and it looks like David Russell is the man who got victory in the toss at least, and Patter McMahon seems to be calling his forwards up the field, which would seem to suggest that Kilkee are going to play with the breeze at their backs in this first half, playing from left to right. Well, it would seem the bank holiday weekend and the Saturday fixture has culminated in a smaller crowd somewhat than the first match, the drawn match this afternoon in Cusack Park. Very vociferous all the same, however, as Kilkee and Kilrush line up to parade around Cusack Park. And this, of course, is when the hair at the back of the neck will stand for both players and supporters alike. Kilrush against Kilkee, lining up for the second time this year, and just moments away now from deciding who will wear the crown as County Senior Football Champions in 2003. They'll be led out by the St. Patrick's Pipe Band of Tulla, as they were the last day. Of course, on the Kilkee side, as I said, lining them out, David Russell played an inspirational game the last day at midfield. His brother Dennis, the man they call Rodney, was the man who squared level and levelled matters 4 minutes into injury time that day, of course, to bring it to this replay here this afternoon. And captaining the Kilrush side, the Clare star Patter McMahon kept fairly quiet the last day, however, did crop up when was most needed, and of course got the second goal for Kilrush, which of course was an all-important one just a few minutes into the second half, which has them here today as well, having a second bite of the cherry. Still a crowd, of course, to pour into Cusack Park here, but I would put the figure down the most of 1,000 on the last day. As I said, the bank holiday weekend may be resulting in that, and of course tomorrow afternoon here in Cusack Park we see the fixture of Clare Castle and Patrickswell, which means that this game, of course, has to be played on a Saturday. However, the atmosphere should be electric all the same. Well, of course, let us remember this game was due to be scheduled to play last weekend, but due to tragic circumstances which puts Gaelic football and sport in perspective, I suppose, it was held off a week. And we think, of course, of those two children tragically killed in West Clare last weekend. And today, hopefully, a good game of football can brighten the spirits of the side of the county that has been down and out for the last week. And so then, moments away from the start of the County Senior Football Final 2003. Michael Talty, the referee, about to throw in the ball between those four who had such a ding-dong battle last time out in midfield, Donal O'Sullivan and John Moody of Kilrush, and of course the pair of brothers, the Russells from Kilkee, opposing them. I see David outside there. He's blessing himself. And let's see, will the prayers be answered? As I say, the crowd down a small bit on the last day, but very, very loud inside the cauldron of Cusack Park all the same. Michael Talty is looking for a ball. Just 3 o'clock bells here now in Cusack Park. And Talty getting ready and about to get underway. So here then for the Auburn Lodge County Senior Football Final 2003. Already players getting to know each other. Throw it in, Michael, say the crowd. John Moody and David Russell getting well acquainted with each other early on, and we're underway. Up goes Donal O'Sullivan, and Big Donal catches it for Kilrush Shamrocks, and already inside the opening 5 seconds we have a free for the men from Kilrush. It's powered up to the far corner where Daniel Ryan chases it out. However, comes the centre half back Dara Kelly for Kilkee. Away it goes out to the far side. David Russell is over to collect it rather, and David tries to get away from his marker. A bit of pushing and shoving from David Russell, who's most certainly fired up as this game is in its opening moments, and therefore Michael Talty, having none of that, says, well, you've lost your chance and I'll throw the ball up between the two number 9s, who is David, of course, and his marker John Moody. John Moody gets a pan to this one. Out it comes to Patter McMahon on the far side of the field over the Christian Brothers side on the 21-yard line. Bounces it, takes his time to try and pick out an option, swings a high in swinging ball in, and it'll drop in as far as number 20 there to collect it. However, is the Kilkee half back line, and out it goes towards number 2, who's Brendan Smith. Had a fine game the last day, Brendan Smith. Takes a look at his options in front of him, took a bit too much time out of the ball, and some nerves creeping into the St. Senan's Kilkee defence early on, and the Shams have themselves a chance to try and draw first blood in this County Senior Football Final. Alan Daly, it is, number 12 here on this stand flank of the field. He is just shy of 40 yards out from the field, I would say 37 yards out, and Daly with number 12 in his back scored a point that Kilrush thought was going to take the honours for them the last day with an in-swinging boot over his shoulder. Daly then in the opening moments here today in the replay. It's a high ball in, it won't have the legs however, and it's taken by the centre half back for Kilkee, who's Dara Kelly. Kelly comes away with it back out at this side of the field towards their half back line again. However, Kilrush managed to win back possession through their number 13, who's Daniel Ryan. Daniel in the far corner plays the ball across as far as Senan Corrie. Senan plays it right across here to the half back line, John Clancy. John Clancy up a long way from his defence, out again as far as Daniel Ryan. However, Daniel's boot from the outside of his boot goes out to the right and wide. Is it given a touch? I believe it is. Yes, indeed. Umpires down there calling the ball to be thrown out for a 40-yard free. And so then Michael Talty signals that it will be a 40-yard free. And Alan Daly it is who has his second chance to draw first blood. The game just under 2 minutes old. His last one was shorter. Of course, he's playing into a swirling but fairly stiff breeze here in Cusack Park. And we'll see if it'll hamper this one. Daly with a long run up, gets his toe in under the ball. That one to the legs to carry it over at least again. However, it's inside there, in around the house. Rory Cusson has it for the Shamrocks. The ball spilled from Cusson's grasp, and away comes David Russell. A long boot and a long clearance from David Russell down in towards his half forward line. And now comes the number 12, Michael Keane. Had a blinder the last day. Keane plays it into centre half forward. Micheál O'Shea on the very far side of the field, shepherded over there by the Kilrush defence. Tries to play a clever hand pass across to the centre of the field. John Moody cuts it out, however, for Kilrush, and away come the Shams once again. Donal O'Sullivan in midfield. Donal O'Sullivan crosses the halfway line with the ball and sends it down towards the field. Brendan Smith is there to collect it. Daly can't hold on to it. Smith plays a grubber ball down in towards the hand of his corner forward, who is Noel O'Shea. Noel O'Shea plays a long ball down the field. It nearly hopped over and out of the grasp of John Griffin. However, the cornerback does very well and gives it to the brother Martin, and Martin comes away with it, gives it out towards John Clancy for Kilrush Shamrocks. Clancy tries to come forward. He's fouled, however, and fouled by Ger Keane, playing corner forward and brought into the action with number 17 on his back for St. Senan's of Kilkee today. And Donal O'Sullivan it will be who will go over and take the free kick. And he's 70 yards out from his attacking goal. Donal O'Sullivan then, that big man, he's played many a game of football with Clare One of the tallest men on the field here this afternoon. He's won the throw-in already in this replay. He's already won himself the free. Meanwhile, Michael Talty, the referee at the far side of the field, is having a word or two, I think, with Michael Keane, is it? Michael Keane and his marker on the Kilrush side, who I think from here is Kevin O'Brien, I'm not sure. There's a few no-tea going down in the Coplower, however, and it looks like Michael Keane is getting his number taken. Can't see from here who the Kilrush man is yet, but as I say, players getting to know each other earlier on, and there is a yellow card brandished. And Michael Keane is one of those. Meanwhile, Donal O'Sullivan kicks a small punt straight into the hands of Patter McMahon. Well picked out. Patter McMahon going over towards the stand side of the field, running into a bit of a corner for himself and chased all the way by David Russell. Patter bounces the ball, took too much out of it, however, and David Russell's defensive skills there paying dividends, and he has himself and St. Senans a free from their own defence. A small quick ball out to baby John Enright. John Enright hops it, toe taps it, tries to come away from it, however Kilrush starting their offence from attack, back towards David Russell again, and Russell plays a low ball in towards the full back, who's out a long way from home, and that man is Martin Griffin. Martin, one of a trio of Griffins playing in the defence for Kilrush this afternoon. The ball reaches Donal O'Sullivan again in midfield, and Kilrush slowly but surely making their way forward. Number 20 has it, that's Senan Curry. Curry tries to play it back to Donal O'Sullivan. He's all bottled up by the two Russells in midfield, and Donal O'Sullivan plays it out towards Patter McMahon. A lot of Kilrush ball coming through these two men in the early moments. It's a high ball in by Patter McMahon, but it's comfortably fielded by Kevin Hart between the sticks for St. Senans Kilkee, and Hart's ball manages to pick out that man Jerkeen. Jerkeen comes soloing across the 40-yard line, comes soloing across the halfway line, comes soloing across the attacking 40 and plays it in towards Rodney Russell. Dennis Russell a long way from the goals, and Dennis, you beauty, puts it over the bar again. Well, we're only here today because of the accurate kicking of Dennis Russell, and once more with 6 minutes gone on the clock, the Kilkee maestro in the centre of the park shows that he's a boot fit to kick points as well as anybody, and he draws first blood after it was Kilrush who had the early possession in this match. Not on the scoreboard, the men from St. Senans who take advantage, and the Seasiders go in to an early lead of 1 point and no score. Their scorer, the man in midfield, Dennis Russell. His marker, Donal O'Sullivan, had fielded a fair amount of possession in the opening moments, but Kilrush failing to capitalise on the scoreline. And Dennis it is who kicks it straight and true between the posts. It's the brother David who has it in around the centre of the park now. Plays it back towards Jerkeen. Dennis Russell plays a long ball in towards his full forward line. The hop beats the centre half back. The centre half back was Noel Griffin, and St. Senans have it again. Micheál O'Shea plays it out to the far side. It just runs over the grasp of Jimmy Larkin. Jimmy plays a left footed kick in. It's high. It comes off the palms of Fergal Maguire, but it manages to sail over the crossbar, and the half forward at the far side of the field, Jimmy Larkin it is, who from the bones of 35 yards out and at a fairly acute angle sends the ball swiftly between the posts, and all of a sudden in the space of a minute St. Senans Kilkee have powered into a 2-point lead in Cusack Park. St. Senans Kilkee 2 points, Kilrush Shamrocks no score, and the onus falls on Fergal Maguire to take another kick out. The man who had a strained groin the last day, and that's why he left the kick outs to his full back, who's Martin Griffin, taking them himself today and looks fit and well on the groin. It's one that reaches the centre of the field, comes down towards Patter McMahon. David Russell is over there to try and take it off him. A great hand pass by Patter McMahon in towards his half-back, who's John Clancy. Clancy comes forward, shepherded all the way by Jerkeen. Clancy takes 2 hops to the ball, and that's a fairly elementary ever for a man to take in senior football, and to mind a senior county football final. So John will have to run back and pick up his position as Kilkee come in search of a score once more. Number 13 has it for them, and that's Noel O'Shea. O'Shea sends it in towards the full forward, who's Barry Hart. Barry tries to come away from his marker, who's John Griffin. However, there was a hand around the ankle, and so then it's St. Senans Kilkee who have the free, and Kilrush under the cosh here in these opening minutes after a bright start. And Dennis Russell is the man who will send a free. Dennis is able to kick points, and I'm sure Dennis is going to have a crack from here. He's about 45, 46 yards out from goal. He doesn't, he proves me wrong, gives it to Jerkeen. He'll have a second bite, and Dennis Russell sends it long again and over the bar, and there's only one Dennis Russell, and he's after kicking 2 points already here today. Took the short free, picked out Jerkeen, back it came from Jerkeen, and Russell with his left boot send a long in-swinging ball from the bones of 45 yards out from his own goal, and once again it teases the roof of the net of Fergal Maguire and over the bar. And already St. Senans Kilkee, who in many people's books were lucky to get a second bite of the cherry the last day, but looked maybe the side that were more able to take their chances are ahead here on a scoreline of 3 points to no score. Kilrush come back to Donal O'Sullivan. The ball laid down towards the fullback Martin Griffin, playing at centre half back in these early moments. Out it comes to the far side of the field where Kilrush have it again, and that man is Daniel Ryan. Ryan playing across on both sides of the field in the early moments. Alan Daly plays it back towards John Moody. This is John's first touch of the ball. He sends it high and inside towards the half forward line, who's David O'Shea. David fails to take control of the ball. Here comes Donal O'Sullivan, and he was drilling down the centre of the field, but it's cut out again by Brendan Smith. Brendan goes down, he got a clatter in the face, but away comes St. Senan's Kilkee once more. Send it down towards their full forward, who's Rory Cusson. Rory bounces it, toe taps it, playing it into the centre of the field, and manages to pick out Rodney in around the centre half line, and sends a long ball down. Now here's Micheál Keane. He's managed to get in around his marker. Micheál takes the turn, the left footed kick from Micheál Keane, and it looks easy and goes over the bar. And all of a sudden Kilkee are really stretching and powering their way in front in the early moments. Noel Griffin it was who got caught out by the bounce, and Micheál Keane snuck in behind him like a thief. Had at one moment the goal to his mercy, but then of course turned his man and toe tapped it straight over the bar and in between Fergal and Maguire's sticks, and all of a sudden after 10 minutes of football on my clock, St. Senan's Kilkee are gone into a 4 point to no score advantage. And it's the direct style of football that St. Senan's have, playing long balls into the full forward line like that has them ahead in this match. Kilrush are playing a different tactic altogether. They're working the ball up short. The ball comes on this occasion from Martin Griffin. Up it goes as far as number 14 Rory Cusson, who's out to take it for the Shams. Michael Talty's referee blows, and Kilrush have themselves a free. Alan Daly tries to look for options, plays it out to this side of the field where Padder McMahon has it. Padder McMahon taking on John Renwright, still going forward, and Padder McMahon plays a hand pass back in towards the centre. Man who has it now is Senan Curry. Curry plays it back towards John Clancy. John Clancy can't break the cover. Curry has it once more. The band brought into the action today to try and settle Kilrush Shamrocks. However, this one goes just to the right, or to the left rather, and just wide, and that would have done a lot for the confidence of Senan Curry rather than St. Senan's. And so then it's still the Seasiders in blue and white who lead on a scoreline of 4 points to no score. 11 minutes of football gone. The goalkeeper Kevin Hart with the kick out. Of course, in front of him the last day he had Michael Galvin starting off, and Galvin of course had an injury coming into this match, which of course the suspension of the fixture last week might have done a lot to clear up, but Jerk Carty came in very well the last day and played a blinder when brought into attack, and playing well here this afternoon. It was him that punched that ball out, and it's gone way down to the other side of the field, where out from home in a full forward position is Rory Cusson. Rory's going forward, it's beginning to open up in front of him. Rory Cusson at 21 plays the ball through, and it's off the post. Back it comes towards the centre forward. It's brilliantly blocked by Fergal Maguire. It's brilliantly blocked. Michael O'Shea had a chance, and meanwhile St. Senan's Kilkee dangerous and clear jet. It's parried away by, it looks like, for a finish, Martin Griffin. Well, what an opportunity it was for St. Senan's Kilkee. All of a sudden the field just opened up, and Rory Cusson had more and more grass than he thought he'd ever have in front of him as he powered his way forward. He took the shot, it came off Fergal Maguire's right hand upright, bounced down, and there was the waiting Michael O'Shea who took the shot, and Maguire, I think it was from this angle, who scrambled across in front of the ball and managed to parry it out. And so then Kilrush Shamrocks may be down 4 points, but it could have been an awful lot worse there in the early moments, only for the cat reflexes of their goalkeeper Fergal Maguire, who, as the sun shines here and begins to come out in Cusack Park, has the sun in his eyes and gets ready to take this kick out. Ball at the edge of his small square, and Fergal gets the toe in under it, not sufficiently enough, only goes as far as his half back line. Over there to collect it is John Clancy for the Shams. Clancy wriggles his way free and gives it to the other half back, who's Kevin O'Brien. Kevin O'Brien plays the ball up the field for Senan Curry to run onto. Curry has it, the far side of the field. He's at the halfway line and plays it back in towards his half back, who's Kevin O'Brien, helping him out. Some dilly-dallying here by the Kilrush Shamrocks. However, they do come forward eventually. Daniel Ryan has it, and Daniel playing a more direct route to goal. He goes himself, gives it to Donal O'Sullivan. Is this the opening score for Kilrush? The ball knocked out of the hands of Donal O'Sullivan, only comes as far, however, as Barry Hart, and Barry Hart plays it through, but it's cut out by the centre half back for Kilkee, who is Darragh Kelly. Meanwhile, however, the referee Michael Talty's whistle blows, and it looks like Kilrush Shamrocks have themselves a free in the 21 for what was some fouling off the ball, I think, by Brendan Smith, who's going to get a tick in the notepad beside his name as well. And it looks like the half forward for Kilrush Shamrocks, who's David O'Shea, will get the first opportunity of the match to put Kilrush on the scoreboard, wearing number 10. He put this over in his sleep, indeed he does. And so then the Shams are on the scoreboard for the first time after 14 minutes of football in Cusack Park. St. Senan's Kilkee 4 points, Kilrush Shamrocks 1, and that might settle the men from West Clare's Maiden Town. So then, as I say, just under a quarter of an hour gone. That's the first score chalked down for the men in green. And Kevin Hart rather, has his second kick out of the afternoon. A short run up by Kevin. Gets in under the ball. Well, I can hear the firecrackers going off at the far side of the field, and it's fireworks all around the field here in Cusack Park as we've played, as I say, just under a quarter of an hour of football. Alan Daly goes over to collect this, and he'll take the sideline kick. An inspirational figure when Kilrush were on top and doing well the last day was Alan Daly. Managed to feel a lot of possession, be kept fairly quiet on the far side of the field today, however, by Brian McNamara. The ball comes back in, and just as I speak, Alan Daly has it again. Tries to come out as far as the 14. He's at an acute angle. Plays a ball across the face of the goal. Brendan Smith leaves it behind him. Back there to collect it is the number 7, and the number 7 is John Enright, and John Enright wins a free out for Kilkee. It's quickly taken down as far as Jerkeen. Jerkeen tries to get away from the evading attention of Noel Griffin. Manages to win himself the free in doing so. Leaves the ball down, and Dennis Russell is going to take it. So then it's quickly taken. Kilkee getting on with matters here, and here's that man who scored a point already. Michael Keane rather. Keane goes in towards the centre half forward line. Now that's a very good ball in. Rory Cusson comes across the face of the goal to collect it. Cusson turns and puts it off the post again, and that's the second time this afternoon that Rory Cusson has done that. He had the goal to his mercy there. Managed again to catch John Griffin napping somewhat, and Rory Cusson, after a brilliant ball was played through by Michael Keane, failed to capitalise. He only hit the far post just 5 minutes ago, and now he's hit this post. Rory Cusson then had his chances as the Kilkee. They lead in a scoreline of 4 points to 1. A goal separates the side. The clearance from defence for Kilrush Shamrocks, who are coming to terms with that win that looks in these last few minutes. Senan Carey has the ball, sends it up to Patter McMahon, and Patter the Greyhound is away. Patter crosses the 40-yard line, and still the grass opens up in front of him. Brings the ball into a more central position. Now this, if it goes over, is a fantastic score. Unfortunately it doesn't, however. It tails off to the right hand side of the post and wide. A good darting run by Patter McMahon, who had the Kilkee defence in 6s and 7s there, but inaccuracy letting him down for a finish. And so then the Blues still lead by 3 points on the scoreline. So then Kevin Hart has himself another kick out there. The sun to Kevin's back, he'll be glad at that, and hopefully it'll be going down. He'll be thinking in the second half. Meanwhile, the centre half back Dara Kelly for Kilkee has it. Plays it out towards his far corner back, and there a long way from home too is Jimmy Larkin at number 10. Larkin plays it back towards John Enright. It's too high, however, for Michael Keane, and back comes Senan Carey. Carey plays it back towards John Moody for Kilrush. But they're being bottled up there in the centre of the field. Kilrush getting no space at all. Alan Daly has found himself a small bit. John Moody back, the right foot, a kick from John Moody, and again it goes off to the right and it goes off wide, and Kilrush might rue these chances. John Moody, who set himself up with the 1-2 with Alan Daly, who found himself in a bit of space, and there was a high in swinging kick from Moody from his right boot, which of course he was at the wrong side of the field to kick points from the right, and indeed it tailed off to the right hand side of the post and wide, and Kevin Hart has the ball placed at the edge of his square once more. Hart steps up, kicks a high ball down, it crosses the 40-yard line, and that's as good as a kick out has been kicked today. John Moody has it in his grasp, sends it forward towards the corner forward Daniel Ryan. Daniel fails to control it, and back it comes towards John Enright. Kilkee coming away with their centre half back, who's Dara Kelly. Kelly plays it down the field, and St. Senan's working it slowly up the field, and Michael Keane coming into this game more and more after a quarter of an hour. Plays it back towards Dennis Russell. Dennis sends away the cornerback, who's Brendan Smith, and Smith, the cornerback, comes powering up the field, tries to take it past the Kilrush half back line. Now he's managed to find a bit of space here, Brendan Smith, and that's why Brendan Smith is playing cornerback possibly this afternoon. He bore down on goal, however failed to kick it between the posts, and Brendan Smith's ball goes out and hops on the terrace out nearly towards Tesco here at the Tulla Road end of the field in Cusack Park, and that's Kilkee's only second wide of this game. They lead on a scoreline of 4 points to 1 with a breeze at their back that's beginning to stiffen here as we're halfway through this first half. The kick out comes from Fergal Maguire. Fergal gets under it well this time. It comes as far as Dennis Russell, parries it down only as far as Senan Carey, and some bunching around the middle of the field there, and there was a boot on the ground, and down with Michael Keane, but Kilrush have themselves the free there. Looked like Kilkee man dived down on top of the ball, which of course is illegal, cannot handle the ball on the ground. And referee Michael Tatty's whistle goes, and Kilrush, who are under pressure here in the opening half, have themselves a chance to come away from the defence. the far side. John Griffin has the ball. John Griffin toe taps it and comes forward with it. That's a small bit too high for his halfback, who's Kevin O'Brien, but Kilrush have it back to Alan Daly. The ball comes back towards Senan Curry. Curry crosses the 40, has a look at the post. This is Curry's second effort at the goal. It could be dangerous. In it goes, and it's parried away well by Brendan Smith, who at one end of the field shows where he's lacking in attack. He definitely makes up for in defence. Brendan Smith parries the ball out over the deadline and wide. It came away. It was coming into the hands there of Rory Cusson. So then number 6, the centre half back, Noel Griffin. Griffin on the 40. Steps back from the ball. 40 yards out from goal, just a little bit to the left. It's not a great booted ball, and Kilrush will have to sort out their free taking in these opening moments. Out it comes towards Michael Keane. Kilkee come away with it again. The man at the far side of the field is Brian McNamara. Brian McNamara pumps up a ball in towards his full forward line. Out to collect it is the centre half forward, Micheál O'Shea. Micheál O'Shea from 140 to the other 40 yard line. Micheál O'Shea, the left boot. However, that's going to be nowhere near the targets, and off it goes and well to the left and wide. While Micheál O'Shea has looked dangerous when the ball has been given into him, he's managed to get some space for himself in the early moments, as has Barry Hart. I was calling Barry Rory Cusson there for a while. My apologies, Barry. Still had the chances. That was the man, of course, who hit both posts, the right hand side post and the left hand side post. And Kilrush then, well, they've managed to temper down the pressure somewhat and still only leading or trailing Kilkee by a solitary kick of a ball. A goal in it, 4 points to Kilkee, who are favoured with the breeze in this first half. And we saw the side who was against the breeze profit the last day in both halves. Maguire's kick out, it's a better one again this time. He's coming into the game in between the sticks there, and Donal O'Sullivan goes up and fields it in the centre of the park. O'Sullivan, he has men outside them, fails to use them. The ball comes back towards his midfield partner John Moody, who lets it off towards John Griffin. Griffin, the boot is long and up towards the St. Senan's Kilkee man on his own out there, and that's Dara Kelly. Dara Kelly plays it back towards Christopher Curwen. He had a good first half the last day, Curwen. This time, however, he scours the ball off the outside of his boot. Out it goes over the fence and into the Christian Brothers terrace of the field there, the standing terrace in Cusack Park. And so then there's 20 minutes gone in this first half. It's St. Senan's Kilkee who lead on a scoreline of 4 points. Kilrush Shamrocks 1 point. The man with number 7 on his back at the far side is Kevin O'Brien, and Kevin will take himself the sideline ball. Plays the ball in. Better football here than the last day, but maybe not as exciting in this first half. And the space that each sets of players is given maybe contributing towards that. It's a long ball down. There's only 2 men up there from Kilkee. Can either one of them grasp it? Taken eventually by Donal O'Sullivan. He's playing very well here, Donal O'Sullivan. He's the man who got the man of the match in the drawn match, and he's going the right way about picking up a second award for himself here this afternoon. Plays the ball out towards John Griffin. John Griffin toe taps and gives it back to Donal. Now again, Kilrush against the breeze will come short with this ball, but Donal lets off a direct one. It's a late challenge on him, however, by Dennis Russell. And meanwhile, Kilrush come away now. Paddy McMahon is put into the clear here. He's at a fairly acute angle, but he's plays it in and over the bar. A good hand pass point there. A fisted point by Paddy McMahon. Good brains to pick him out. Donal O'Sullivan it was who took the free after the late challenge, and it was given in towards Paddy McMahon. Or Donal O'Sullivan it was who was fouled on that occasion. The quick free came. We thought the hop had taken too much out of it to put Paddy McMahon through on goal. It did, but however, from the acute angle, he fisted the ball in between the posts. And art is a saying that's dying in Gaelic football. A lot of players, when they're in front of the goal mouth and they're just looking at the goals and a sea of defenders around them, still you often see try and let away a hand pass to another player, try and boot it when the goal is at their mercy. And Paddy McMahon shows that simple football can be the most effective football on that occasion. Kilrush Shamrocks growing in confidence and coming in search of another score. There's Kevin O'Brien. He's trying to come forward with it. Plays it out towards the far side of the field, and the man with 4 on his back is an awful long way from home, and that's John Griffin. Alan Daly has it back now, and out it goes towards the other half forward, who's David O'Shea. O'Shea is bottled up. John Moody has it, but John's kick goes disappointingly out to the left and out wide, or out to the right and wide, and John Moody has his second wide of the game, and he won't be happy with that one. Both hit from the right boot and both hit from the same side of the goals, and both ending up at the same side of the goals. And so then St. Senan's Kilkee, as Kilrush try to power their way into this game, manage to hold off the storm on that occasion again, as Kevin Hart takes the kick out. It's a good kick out from Kevin Hart, and it crosses the 45 yards from goal. It comes back towards Christopher Corwin. Christopher Corwin leaves it off towards Dennis Russell. He's been kept very quiet apart from the opening point. Dennis Russell, here's a danger man, however, and that's Micheál O'Shea. Micheál O'Shea sends it back towards Russell again. Now Russell has a look at the goals, decides to play it back towards O'Shea again. O'Shea with the right boot, O'Shea, and disappointingly again for this game of football, that's going to be another tame wide, and it goes out this time towards the right hand side and wide at the Tulla Road end of the field. There's been about 5 wides for each side, and when you consider that the ball hasn't been in attacking positions an awful lot in this game of football, that is fairly wasteful. It'll be Kilkee, I'd say, who'll be more disappointed with the wides. Of course, they have the breeze at their back in this first half, and I can tell you it's picking up minute after minute down there on the sod, and so then they'll be hoping to have more than a 2-point lead as they go in the interval. They play the more direct style of football, and here they come again. David Russell lays it off towards the brother Dennis. Back it comes towards Jerkeen. Jerkeen plays it out towards Dennis Russell again. Now Russell plays it through. That's O'Shea. It's played across and it's gone wide again. It was actually Barry Hart for the finish. Well, Barry Hart has had his chances, I think, to have this first half wrapped up for himself already. And as it turns out, he's hit the left post, he's hit the right post, and now he's put the ball wide. I think he tried to be too delicate with it there, Barry Hart. The ball hand passed into his direction as Dennis Russell and Jerkeen came forward, exchanging passes between them. Dennis Russell, who could himself have shot, spotted Hart outside him to his left, played the hand pass to Hart, and Hart, I think, tried to pick out the top corner of the netting, but failed to do so. Meanwhile, below us, the Shamrocks have a casualty, and that's Daniel Ryan, who was down, but Daniel needing no further attention. And it looks like he's all right to take his place and resume in this game, Daniel Ryan. Meanwhile, below us, Fergal Maguire has the kick out for Kilrush. Fergal, whose goal was let off the hook on that occasion. His side trailing by 2 points, and they won't be too disappointed with that when they see the wind they'll play with in the second half. 4 men go up in the air, one goes highest, and that's Donal O'Sullivan. The ball comes back towards John Griffin. John Griffin with his left boot plays it down in towards this far corner. Now to collect it, looks like it's David O'Shea. David O'Shea, the fair-haired half forward, lays it off to Patter McMahon. Centre forward Patter tries to weave and dart his way in around the Kilkee defence again. However, John Enright and co holding him off on this occasion. Back it comes, and Patter McMahon has it again. Plays the ball back towards Senancari. Senancari plays it forward. Back there is Ger Crotty doing well for Kilkee. The ball played across the face of the goal. In it goes towards Rory Cusson. However, it's taken out of his grasp, and as far as Dara Kelly rather, but Dara Kelly he's deemed to have picked up the ball, and Kilrush Shamrocks all of a sudden, after being under the cosh for a long spell, have their chance to come back into this game and only trailed by a point if this goes over. And Alan Daly is the man who's going to take it. Michael Talty's referee's whistle shrilling there on Dara Kelly, who was a judge that picked the ball up off the ground, and some basic errors for Kilkee, who will be ruining those decisions. And after 27 minutes of play, it looks like Alan Daly, who steps up and puts it to the left, or puts it to the right and puts it wide, and that is a very disappointing free indeed. And Kilrush, who had the chance there, it was in fact the man who was injured a moment ago, Daniel Ryan, who took the kick. And Kilrush, who had a chance there to come within a point just before the interval. Other contenders of Kilkee will be very, very disappointed with that effort. The ball kicked out from goalkeeper Kevin Hart. Kevin sends it long. Kilrush come ahead once more, however. Can Donal O'Sullivan find a recovery for that last chance? Alan Daly has it. Now Daly's got Griffin outside him. Doesn't decide to use him on this occasion. He's on the 21 and over. At the far side of the field, Daly sends it in, and yet again another wide for Kilrush, and discontent in the stand below me and in the terrace across the way as Alan Daly sends another ball out wide of the post. And I can tell you Kilrush would be definitely and truly on parity with Kilkee, at least if they manage to take their chances. And you have to consider the wind that they're playing against in this opening half, and there'll be some giving out done in the dressing room at half time for those wasted chances. And hopefully, from a Kilrush point of view, they won't prove costly for them. Kilkee win themselves a free back in their defence. I think it was Christopher Corwin who won it. Christopher sends a long ball down the field. Now he picks out Micheál Keane. Micheál Keane comes towards his half-forward line. 40 yards out from goal, Michael Keane. And he still toe-taps it. 21 yards out from goal, Michael Keane still taps it and sends it over the bar. A talented footballer is Michael Keane. And just when his side was soaking up the pressure at the far end of the field, you love to have lads in your same jersey as you at the other end of the field who can play football like that and send the ball between the posts. And whereas Kilrush will rue missed opportunities at one end of Cusack Park, They will be even more hurt by the fact that Kilkee are managed to convert theirs at the other end, and all of a sudden Kilkee go back into a 3-point lead again as we face the interval. It's 5 points for Kilkee, Kilrush 2 points. 29 minutes and a half gone on the clock. Paddy McMahon jumps and parries the ball down to Donald O'Sullivan. Donald tries to work his way out of a sea of Kilrush players. He manages to win himself a free on the halfway line here at this side of the field. Donald O'Sullivan toe taps it towards his centre half back, who's Noel Griffin. Noel Griffin plays it forward towards Rory Cusson. The Shamrock at full forward this afternoon. Senan Curry plays the ball with the outside of his boot to the far side of the field, and it manages somehow in the end to come to Daniel Ryan. Daniel Ryan set away again by John Griffin. Now Daniel Ryan, or the halfback rather, Kevin O'Brien, he's on the 21, plays it across Daniel Ryan this time, and Daniel Ryan is having a torrid 3 minutes with his accuracy, the same as he missed a free a moment ago. He's after sending a ball from play to the same side of the goals, and unfortunately out to the right and wide, and so then Kilrush see another chance of their own going a begging, and meanwhile there's a man down on the ground, panned out there on the 21-yard line. It's a St. Senan's man, and I think from here it could be, I'm looking for players out the field who are missing, and I think it could be the full back Ger Crotty. Ger, of course, who was brought into the game in the drawn match after Michael Galvin picked himself up an injury and done ever so well after coming back into that match. He gets his second chance here again today, but it looks like Ger himself now is feeling the bones of an injury down there on the 21, receiving some attention from St. Senan's. And it looks like the referee is going to call for a substitution, I think, for Ger Crotty. And the way he's holding the back of his leg, and he hasn't moved much since he's went down, I think Ger Crotty is going to have no further part to play in this game. And number 21 looks like he's going to come in for the moment, at least for St. Senan's Kilkee, and that is Derek Garvey. We'll see how long Derek is going to come into this match for. Just on the verge of half time here. I don't know, is it awkwardly that Ger Crotty fell, but there's a stretcher coming in for the man with number 3 in his back for St. Senan's Kilkee today, and it looks like that substitute Derek Garvey is going to take up berth back there in the Kilkee defence. And it's always sad to see, especially on county final day, a player that is going to play no further part in this match. Did something snap or did something go from underneath him? I'm not too sure. But Ger Crotty will definitely be a loss in the Kilkee defence this afternoon. Still receiving attention down there. And so then, just before the interval, we see the scoreline here in Cusack Park as the wind again picks up. Kilkee 5 points, Kilrush Shamrocks 2 points. So then applause around Cusack Park for the injured party being stretchered off. It's a sad sight to see. Ger Crotty leaves the action here in Cusack Park. He's holding his leg and he'll play no further action in this match. And meanwhile the kick out comes from the goalkeeper Kevin Hart. I can tell you the man who's going in to replace Crotty for the moment at least will be the number 21, who is Derek Garvey. Takes up his place in the Kilkee defence. Meanwhile here's another Kilkee defender going forward, Brendan Smith. Smith plays the ball down in towards the corner where the man out to collect it is Barry Hart, and Barry Hart is fouled as he tried to go forward and release his half forward, who was Jimmy Larkin, and Barry Hart has won his side the free, which Ger Keane it looks like is going to step up and take, but I can see Dennis Russell coming over towards it as well here at the stand side of the field, just shy of 40 yards out from his goal. And Dennis Russell, with the goal in front of him, is going to kick this with the left peg, and Dennis then with an opportunity to put St. Senan's of Kilkee 4 points in front as we hit the half-time break. It's a dangerous enough ball, but it swings across the face of the goal and just at the butt of the post goes out to the right and wide. And so then with 3.5 minutes of injury time played in this first half, Dennis Russell's missed opportunity there still sees the scoreline at 5 points for St. Senan's, 2 points for Kilrush Shamrocks. So then about to get underway here once again with Fergal Maguire between the sticks, Players coming coldly into the action after that long pause due to Crotty's injury. Donal O'Sullivan jumps highest in midfield and Donal O'Sullivan wins it. Outside him he has his centre half back, who is Noel Griffin. Noel Griffin toe taps the ball forward and crosses the 70-yard line. The ball comes in towards the corner forward, who's Daniel Ryan. Daniel sends it down towards David O'Shea. David O'Shea tries to come forward with the ball. However, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 Kilkee men around him, and one comes away with it and plays it off towards David Russell. David Russell, the Kilkee captain, and it's David Russell's hand pass that sees the last piece of action here in Cusack Park as both sides go in to the dressing room at the interval. And well, the story in the first half is that Kilrush played against a fairly stiff breeze, played a less direct type of football, while St. Senan's Kilkee let the ball go, but they too of course are guilty of missed chances in this opening half. It's they who lead with the wind to their backs in the first half, however, on a scoreline of 5 points to 2, and we'll be back for the second half. Well, so then Kilkee and Kilrush about to get underway with proceedings in the second half. I can tell you, as we knew at the end of the first half, Ger Crotty had to leave the action and retire injured. Well, Derek Garvey takes up his place in defence, and at the under end of the field I see the introduction of number 20, Derek DeLockery. Will tell you more about that in a moment. Meanwhile, it's St. Senan's Kilkee against the stiff breeze and 3 points to the good, who get underway the second half, losing possession fairly quickly. However, the ball comes down onto Kilrush's end of the field, and there to collect it is Rory Cusson. Rory Cusson, their full forward, sends it in towards David O'Shea. David O'Shea on the 21 at a fairly acute angle. Took too much out of the ball on that occasion. St. Senan's Kilkee have themselves a free from their defence, and it's taken and drilled up in towards Derek DeLockery. DeLockery is out to collect it. The big number 20 comes forward with the ball, sends it outside towards Brendan Smith. Brendan Smith back towards David Russell, tries to work his way against the breeze out of defence. Russell toe taps it, sends a low ball up only, however, as far as the half-back, who's Kevin O'Brien for Kilrush Shamrocks. O'Brien picks out Noel Griffin, and Noel Griffin with the outside of his boot sends the ball down only as far as Jan Enright. However, Jan Enright stoops low to try and collect it. He's grounded on the ground, and referee is going to have to blow his whistle and throw the ball up in the air here. Also below me, I'll tell you that I see the introduction of number 24 for Kilrush Shamrocks, and number 24 is Gary Bond. We wait for a moment to see who has made their way from the action on Gary's introduction. Meanwhile, forward come Kilrush Shamrocks. Donal O'Sullivan powers forward with the ball. O'Sullivan at the edge of the semicircle plays it with his right boot, and it's over the bar, and Donal O'Sullivan draws first blood for Kilrush Shamrocks in the second half. The ball sails in between the sticks and over, and it's 5 points to 3, and the margin is back to 2 points in this low scoring county final. Hampered by the wind, it's Kilrush Shamrocks who get off to the better start in the second half as they try and reel in Kilkee's lead. Well, I said that the wind would be a big factor in today's game. Kilkee will feel that they wasted too many opportunities and spurned too many kicks in the first half to go in very confident of a second half winning performance, and so then Kilrush getting off to the start they would have wished to with the wind at their backs in the second half. It's St. Senan's Kilkee 5 points, the Shamrocks from Kilrush 3 points, the near and landlocked neighbours back there by the sea, and David Russell comes forward to it. He's hit a slap as he goes through by Noel Griffin with 6 in his back, and I think that David is playing a bit of Hollywood on it. He's got himself to free, and Michael Talty, without further ado, is going to record the name into the book of Noel Griffin. No yellow card brandished, however he does get a tick beside his name, and so then proceedings get underway once more, and it's Dennis Rodney Russell, the man of the brother of the injured David, who won that free, who has the ball in his hands. It was from about this distance out and a little more over towards the far side of the field where Dennis Rodney Russell became the hero the first day and kicked us into a replay in the county football final. Michael Keane, there was a shoulder in the back there on the Kilrush man, I think, and Dennis Russell's shoulder is Donal O'Sullivan to the ground, and all of a sudden Kilrush Shamrocks have themselves a free. Donal O'Sullivan and Dennis Russell, no strangers to each other from the inter-county scene, and just getting to know each other a small bit further there as Donal O'Sullivan will have the kick from his defence. Bulta on Adeg Donal, and it's a long ball down towards the far side of the field, and over there to collect it is number 21 Derek Garvey. Garvey loses out on it towards the number 14 who's Rory Cusson, and so then the Shamrocks have themselves conceded a line ball. David O'Shea comes over with it in his hand. Is he going to take it? Yes, David O'Shea is going to take it, so it's Kilrush Shamrocks who have themselves the line ball, and as I suspected, the decision is overturned, and it's actually a Kilkee ball. It's going to be left off towards Derek Garvey, the man bought in for Ger Crotty at the end of the first half. Garvey then plays the ball Down the field, on it comes towards Derek Delacre, coming into this game well since his introduction at half-time, and Delacre plays the ball forward. That's a good ball too. Now Brendan Smith has it, the corner back, the terrier, a long way from his defence. Brendan Smith, he had a wide in the first half. What can he do in the second? It's an excellent block by Donald O'Sullivan. Smith tries to win it back, but Donald O'Sullivan comes powering out of defence with it. There's a shoulder in the back of Alan Daly, and Kilrush come away with the free. Out it goes towards John Moody, the man from the army, number 9 in midfield, had a blinder the last day, plays it out. The ball is taken out of the grasp of the centre half back, and shoulders go flying in from all angles, but it's the men from the seaside that come away. And what's going on here? There's a whistle, and the whistle goes against the number 4. The whistle goes against John Griffin. Now, does John Griffin have himself in the book already? I don't think so. The referee, Michael Talty, flashes a yellow card to John Griffin on a fairly hefty tackle on Jerkeen as Jerkeen came forward. And Jerkeen, who stretched it out on the ground, will receive some attention. It'll be a St. Senan's Kilkee free. And Michael Keane, the brother of Gerard, isn't too happy with that. He's going over to have a word with the culprit, who was the cornerback, John Griffin. Meanwhile, Jerkeen still on the floor. And just a small few moments to tell you that, as I said, the wind has picked up here in Cusack Park in Ennis, and it favours Kilrush Shamrocks. We're 5 minutes into this second half now. And so then it looks like that Jerkeen is back onto his feet and will resume his position and is fit to play the remainder of this game, which is 25 minutes of football. Dennis Russell plays a very clever ball back to Derek Delacre. Big Derek Delacre bought in for experience in the second half. Toe taps it high. Manages to wind his way around Donald O'Sullivan, but doesn't manage to put through a kick so that his efforts deserved, and he puts it off to the right and puts it wide, and the ball falls to Fergal Maguire for another kick out after a fairly disappointing kick there from that number 20 in the picture, who's Derek Delacre. Now meanwhile, Maguire, who'll try and put a rush on this as Kilrush try and take full advantage of the wind. They of course trail by 2 points, and the goalkeeper for the Shamrock steps up and gets his toe under it, and that's a good ball out 45 yards from his goal. It's palmed down by David Russell, and it's palmed over the sideline and out for a line ball for Kilrush Shamrocks, which John Clancy will go over to take. John Clancy over by the ad hoardings of the far side of the field, plays the ball in towards the full back, who is Martin Griffin. Martin Griffin plays the ball, a good ball towards the stand side of the field. Is it too high for Paddy McMahon? It is, and back will go Jar Crotty, number 3 for Kilkee. The ball played forward, and it goes towards the number 14, and number 14 is Barry Hart, and coming forward with it now is Micheál O'Shea. Micheál O'Shea on the 21-yard line, toe taps the ball, and Michael tries to get through the attention of Kevin Brown. Can't on this occasion. Kevin Brown does well, and so too does Noel Griffin. Good defence there by Kilrush Shamrocks, but O'Shea still gets past. Now here's Michael Keane, but the ball had gone over and wide, and players still getting to know each other in the game down there. There was a late challenge of Michael Keane, but the referee's whistle had gone for the wide ball. Now there's some confusion as to who's gone and who's still on in the Kilkee defence. I see Ger Crotty below me here at this flank of the field. I thought it was him who made way in the first half. Ger Crotty is still in action in this game, so I'll just have a look around to see who has made way. Meanwhile, at the far end of the field, the Kilrush Shamrocks goalkeeper Fergal Maguire will take the kick out. I'm looking around the Kilkee attack in the second half, and I can't see Noel O'Shea, so I presume that is who Derek Delacre is into the action for. The kick out comes in towards the centre of the field. The fist, and wouldn't you know it, I can see Noel O'Shea now when I mention it. The ball goes to the far corner of the field, and over there to collect it, but doing a bit of messing with it is the full forward Barry Hart, and Barry tries to evade the attention of the Kilrush defence, and Jerkeen is there. Jerkeen plays a long ball across the field towards Michael Keane. Up goes the fist of Kevin O'Brien, comes into the hand of Derek Delacre. Delacre goes down at the edge of the square and back towards Michael Keane, tries to let through a boot with his left kick. There was a fairly dangerous kick there on the ground by Noel O'Shea, and so then Kilrush had themselves a free out, and quickly they come away with it. The ball is in the hand of Gary Bond. Gary Bond sends it down towards Paddy McMahon. McMahon toe taps it, and still going with it. Paddy McMahon plays it back towards number 24 Gary Bond, and Gary Bond plays a good direct ball too, only however as far as Kelly, the centre back for Kilkee, and forward comes Dennis Russell. Dennis Russell, he crosses the halfway and crosses the 70-yard line and plays a long ball in towards the full back line. In there to collect it will be Fergal Maguire, the Kilrush Shamrocks goalkeeper. The whistle goes and some pulling on the full back. Martin Griffin for the Shamrocks, and it's a free within. The ball goes to the far side where Kevin Brown is out to collect it. Brown comes forward with the ball, plays it to centre half back who's Noel Griffin. Noel Griffin plays a good right footed kick down towards Alan Daly. Daly is beaten to it, however, by Baby John Enright, and the ball comes back towards David Russell. Michael Keane links up with David Russell again, and the outside of the boot manages to pick out Jerkeen. Now Jerkeen is on the 21-yard line. He's a good distance from the goal at a good angle. Jerkeen, number 17, goes his way forward, takes a cheeky kick and puts it over the crossbar and against the wind. Jerkeen is every bit as fruitful with the boot as he is with it. Managed to round Donald O'Sullivan there and kick the ball with his left boot and over the crossbar in the blue spot it went. And for the third time this afternoon, Fergal Maguire has had a ball land on the roof of his net teasingly as St. Senan's Kilkee go into a 3-point lead here on a scoreline of 6 points for St. Senan's, 3 points for Kilrush Shamrocks. And so then as the wind swirls in Cusack Park, it makes no bother nor difference to St. Senan's, who still lead here by a goal. Now there's a support going on. The goalkeeper Fergal Maguire below there. Fergal, who, as I was telling you earlier on, had a grind strain the first day in a kick around in the build-up to the drawn game. He had to get full-back Martin Griffin to take the kick-outs for him in that drawn game, but it seems that he's recovered fully for the replay and will take out the kick-outs himself, just putting some support on the tie there as he ties up his boot and gets ready to go ahead with it. Rush selectors below there. Frankie Griffin fairly annoyed at the time being wasted here. With him, of course, is John Heher, Tony Lyons and Matt Fitzpatrick, and their goalie Fergal Maguire will take the kick out from the 21, and Maguire is clutching that groin again. They're going to have to do something about the kick outs and the goalkeeper. I saw Dust Rise, he kicked that one out. Meanwhile, Dennis Russell is on the 21 and Dennis sends it through the post, and Kilkee are in celebratory mood in Cusack Park. There may only be up to 10 minutes gone in this second half, but St. Senan's Kilkee are after, against the wind, silencing the critics who said maybe, like myself, that they spurned too many opportunities in the first half, and they lead now on a 4-point scoreline of 7 points for St. Senan's. Kilrush 3 points, and where's the excitement that was there the first day, and where's the dogged defending by Kilrush Shamrocks in around the centre of the park and beyond that has themselves back here for a replay today? It's St. Senan's who lead. Martin Griffin takes the kick out for the Shams. Now Donald O'Sullivan, he decides to let it off towards Kevin O'Brien. Kevin O'Brien plays the ball through. It's too high and it's cut out by Derek Garvey. Derek Garvey plays it to the far side of the field where Noel O'Shea will chase. Noel O'Shea, alongside him is John Clancy. O'Shea tries to take it around. Clancy doesn't. Nearly left the ball after him, but plays a right-footed kick, or left-footed kick in towards the full forward, who's Rory, who is Barry Hart. Barry Hart comes out, hand passes it out towards Dennis Russell. Dennis Russell with the outside of his left kick, or his left boot, plays it in towards O'Shea. Now here comes Brendan Smith up from corner back. It's off the crossbar and it comes back out towards this side of the field. And Brendan Smith, who's had a few chances to score the odd point already today, shot for the goal on that occasion. Back he goes in towards his position. Meanwhile, Kilrush Shamrocks have the chance to clear the lines down there, and they do so. Out it comes towards Donald O'Sullivan after the hand pass came from Noel Griffin. O'Sullivan tries to come forward with it. Michael O'Shea is there putting pressure on him. It comes to the far side towards Paddy McMahon. Paddy McMahon goes out, takes it, toe taps the ball. It's a hefty challenge by Smith, who had that chance a moment ago, or by Christopher Kerwin it was in fact, and Paddy McMahon has won himself the free. And I think, is it Ger Crotty who's going to be spoken to about the challenge? It is number 3, Ger Crotty for St. Senan's, having his name taken. Meanwhile, the onus will fall on David O'Shea, the young half forward. David O'Shea, 40 yards out from goal, at just a little to the left of the post, plays a long kick in with his right foot, and that's a good kick by David O'Shea, and that puts the Shamrock supporters in better spirits and puts the Shams back into contention when it looked like St. Senan's Kilkee are about to power their way forward to a county final here. And now once again, just the one boot of the ball that separates the sides. It's 7 points for St. Senan's Kilkee, 3 points for Kilrush Shamrocks, their neighbours, who trail this county final, going of course for the 22nd title. St. Senan's Kilkee, last victors of course in 1992, hoping to represent their side in Munster for the first time since then. And the ball played forward by Gary Bond. Now when it goes through the point scorer a moment ago, Derek Garvey cuts it out, however, and Garvey sends it out towards Dennis Russell. Dennis Russell at the stand side of the field plays the ball towards the brother, who's David Russell, but Ger Crotty is the man who collects it and comes forward. Now he's got Dennis to his right hand side or left hand side, and he picks out Dennis again. Dennis plays a low ball into his full forward line, and it comes into the hands of Barry Hart, and Barry is pushed fairly so out over the sideline by Martin Griffin. And so then, with more than quarter of an hour to go here in Cusack Park, it's Kilrush who clear their lines. That's a fairly poor ball, however, as far as only Derek Delackery. Delackery fails to judge the bounce of the ball on the hard surface here in Cusack Park after the frost during the week. Along it comes towards David Russell. David Russell, oh, he's got men with him, and one of those is Michael O'Shea. Michael O'Shea tries to bury his way through, but that's all he ends up doing, is being buried, and Michael O'Shea brought to ground by Donal O'Sullivan, and there's going to be a tick beside Donal O'Sullivan's name, and St. Senan's Kilkee have themselves the chance to go forward in front here again. And it is Michael Keane who has the ball in the hand. Michael Keane then, he's already scored a very, very good point from play in the first half. 2 points from play in the first half, in fact, Michael Keane, and this will be his first from a free. Michael Keane bends in around the ball with his right boot, and it's over the bar after Michael O'Shea's free, and Michael O'Keane, the other Michael, puts it between the posts over the blue spot, and it's a good free, as good as you'll see here today. And so then Fergal Maguire comes out after his side conceded another free and another point, and they're under the cosh. He's calling back Martin. He says, Martin, you helped me the last day with the kick-outs, help me again today. And big Martin Griffin goes back. Martin with the red gloves puts the ball down on the 21-yard line, and steps 1, 2, 3, 4 steps back from the ball. His side really under pressure. They trail by 4 points. Martin, of course, one of 3 Griffin brothers in defence this afternoon. Noel and John are the other 2. It's a high ball. Frankie's on the sideline, of course. It's a high ball into the centre of the field. Derek Delackery has it. Delackery looks for support. He gets it from David Russell. Now David Russell bearing down on goal. The right foot kick from David Russell. It's held inside in the goals by Fergal Maguire, and Fergal Maguire comes away. He's got Gary Bond outside him if he needs him. Gary Bond comes running for the ball. The man brought in the second half here to try and bed down the pressure of Kilkee, and Gary Bond, and the number 6 Noel Griffin wins Kilrush Shamrocks a free. Down there, about 30 yards out from the roll goal at the stand side of the field. So then Kilrush it is who boot the ball clear, but it's a disappointing ball only as far as Dennis Russell. Dennis can't believe his luck. Now he's sent through Ger Keane. Ger Keane bears down on goal. It's a one-on-one here, but back goes Noel Griffin to deal with very, very well indeed. Now Ger Keane, he got a point from this angle a few moments ago. Plays the hand pass across the face of the goal. Kevin Brown is the only man who's there, however. Kevin Brown plays it towards this side of the field where Gary Bond makes himself available again. Gary Bond sends the direct ball down the field once more. Out it comes towards Senan Corrie. Senan tries to get a boot on the ball. There's a man gone down. He's lying on the ball. You can't do that. The man gone down on the ball. I think from here it looks like it's the centre half back who was Derek Kelly. And so then a referee, Michael Talty, has no choice only to blow it up, and I think he's going to throw a ball here. There's a stalemate situation down there. Derek Kelly protests that he's injured, and that's the reason he was lying in the ball. And meanwhile, mentors have been ushered from off the field of play here and onto the sideline where they belong. Donal O'Sullivan will go for this with another big man who's even bigger than O'Sullivan in height, and that's Derek Delackery. Up goes O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan wins it with one hand. O'Sullivan, he's got men outside him, and one of those is the number 5, John Clancy. John Clancy goes forward. The half-back, can he be the man to show Kilrush where the goals are? But John Clancy can't, and he took too much out of the ball, and there's a big roar from the St. Senan's Kilkee supporters at the far side. St. Senan's Kilkee, of course, win the free there, and still they lead by 4 points, and they have a free from defence, and it'll be taken by their goalkeeper, Kevin Hart. I have 18 minutes of football played in this second half. There is 12 to go. Let's see if in those 12 minutes with the wind to their backs can Kilrush capitalise on a chance they had at half time. They only went in trailing by 2 points when it looked like that missed chances were going to kick away this county football final for St. Senan's Kilkee, but they've come out as a new side in the second half at the far side of the field. Noel O'Shea goes forward with the ball, sends through a long ball towards Michael Keane. Michael comes over and collects it now. He's got Ger outside if he needs him. He doesn't, and Michael Keane puts it over the bar with the left boot, and Michael Keane kissing the crest of the star of the sea, the Stella Maris of Kilkee, shows the way, and they now lead by a scoreline of 9 points to 4 to St. Senan's in blue and white. And so then Kilrush, trailing by 5 points, have an awful lot of work to do in the last quarter of an hour or so if they're to get back into this game. Now below me, if any man can spur up the support, this man can. Frankie Griffin it is who's gone into the action. The great, the legendary Frankie Griffin, number 30 on his back, and Frankie Griffin takes off the fleece and the selector duties and goes in to attack a position he's not very used to, and he becomes the fourth Griffin on the field wearing the green jersey of Kilrush. One of them takes the kick-outs, and that was Martin. Martin plays the ball towards number 4, John Griffin. John Griffin sends it down towards Alan Daly. Kilrush, well, they need a goal, I think, at this stage, especially to get the crowd back behind him as well. Paddy McMahon, he's on the 40 at the far side of the field. He comes forward, chasing him over there is Brian McNamara, but McMahon isn't running himself into a cul-de-sac, is he? No, the ball goes off the left-hand side of the post and out wide. And so then it rattles the bar and goes out wide, and Kevin Hart will have the kick out as Michael Talty consults about something with his umpire down there at the far side of the field. And so then remember that scoreline. It's Kilkee 9 points. Their neighbours and the contenders, St. Senans, or the Shamrocks from Kilrush, are 4 points. There's another stoppage below me, and it looks like Alan Daly is going to be called over by the referee. Alan Daly, who swung that ball down towards Paddy McMahon for the last passage of play, and something has been spotted by the umpire there, and it's been called to the attention of Michael Talty, who's going out to talk with the number 12, Alan Daly, and Alan Daly sees a yellow card flashed, and that will go down beside his name. And so then, here with over 10 minutes of this match to go, that's not a great kick out by the goalkeeper Kevin Hart, and it comes towards the Kilkee defence. It's a free up, some indiscipline there by Kilrush Shamrocks, and Frankie goes on to try and cool down the teammates and has a word with referee Michael Talty while he does that as well. It's a pick off the ground, and hold on then, the referee has changed his mind. The Kilkee supporters won't be happy with that. Whatever Frankie said, it worked, and so then there was a pick up off the ground, and it looks like that David O'Shea is going to have himself the kick. David 40 yards out from goal. He scored one from a very, very similar position about 5 minutes ago. David O'Shea to put his side back in contention. It's a high, long ball. It's not accurate enough, however, and very disappointingly for his teammates and himself, David O'Shea only manages to send the ball off out to the right and wide. And so then Kilkee still have their bit of daylight of 5 points between themselves and the opposition, the Shamrocks and Kilrush here. And so then, below me, some last gasp efforts from Kilrush now as we set into the last 10 minutes of this game to try and chop and change. I see John Moody still marking, David Russell down there. The kick out comes from Kevin Hart. There is some positional changes on the Kilrush side to try and soak up this pressure and come back into this game. It's getting a bit late to do so. Donal O'Sullivan has a bit of grass in front of him, but also has Derek Garvey in front of him, and he's wearing a Kilkee jersey. Derek plays it away across towards Dennis Russell, and out comes Benny Smith. Brendan Smith, he's played a blind there this afternoon, and forward comes David Russell, and David is caught around the waist and he's brought to the ground, and a tackle like that belongs out in Australia. The ball comes on to Michael O'Shea. Michael O'Shea crosses the 70-yard line, crosses the 40-yard line. Michael O'Shea still going forward. He's chased all the way by Kevin Brown, but that's great pace. But Michael O'Shea now is through to Hart. It's blasted over the bar, and Barry Hart, who had goal opportunities by the score in the first half, had another one there, but at least he'll be happy to get something out of it. The ball blazed over the crossbar of Fergal Maguire, and it seems when Kilrush worked so hard at one end of the field to try and get themselves on the scoreboard, St. Senans Kilkee find a bit of ease and a bit of space in front of them at the other end on the counter attacks, and number 14 Barry Hart becomes the latest scorer in this match for the men in blue and white, and now they lead on a scoreline of 10 points to 4. They lead by 6 points, and that's a lot of kicking to do in a game of football, even with the wind behind you. And so then Kilrush Shamrocks have themselves the free. Over there to take it will be, I think it's centre half back Noel Griffin. No, it's not. It's the brother John in the corner, and John sends a long ball down the field. David O'Shea. Brendan Smith goes to the ground. Over there to collect it is Derek Kelly in the far corner. It's not. It's Dennis Russell. Dennis Russell plays it out towards John Enright. John Enright out towards Brendan Smith and back towards David Russell. That's a good football this by St. Senans. David Russell, he stumbles forward and he gets another belt in the face, and he's gone to the ground again, and I think it was Frankie Griffin that time who let go with the elbow. Kilrush supporters don't like seeing David Russell on the ground. They think a bit of time wasting could be involved there, but it looked from this angle anyway that Russell did indeed get a slap. Meanwhile, below me, Kilrush are introducing a man, and so too are Kilkee. We'll give you more details on that in a moment as we see that David Russell gets the attention at the far side of the field, and Russell, it looks like, is up over there getting a word of encouragement from Derek Delackery and the brother Dennis, and it looks like here that number 21 is going to come into the action now for the Shamrocks of Kilrush. Number 21 comes in, and number 21 is Paul Cahallan. Making way for Paul will be Alan Daly. A disappointing day at the office for Daly, a very talented footballer from Kilrush. He makes way in the county final. Kilkee want to bring on a sub too, but he'll have to wait his turn. The ball goes down and towards Barry Hart, the last point scorer in this match for St. Senan's Kilkee. Barry Hart toying with the ball over there, but the fullback Martin Griffin shielding him all the way, and Barry Hart concedes the free and Martin Griffin goes to ground, and the Kilrush Shamrocks will have themselves a free out from their defence. They'll want to rush this one. There isn't too much time between themselves and the final whistle to try and stake a claim and get back into this match. Meanwhile, referee Michael Talty has the attention of the linesman. Does he? Kilkee want to bring in a substitute, and it's number 15 who'll go into the action, and number 15 who was left out from the starting lineup in the programme will be Kevin Larkin. Jerkeen came in to take his position at top of the right, Kevin Larkin. Meanwhile, Kilrush Shamrocks go forward with the ball again, and there going forward with it is Kevin O'Brien. Kevin O'Brien plays it out towards David O'Shea. David O'Shea plays it back towards Gary Bond. Gary Bond has a look at the post. That's not going to be long enough, but it will be dangerous. Now, Paddy McMahon got a punch goal the last day, and Paddy went up for another one today. However, it was a square ball. Paddy McMahon inside in the square. You can't do that, says the referee. And meanwhile, below me, it's number 13, Noel O'Shea, who eventually will make way for St. Senan's Kilkee, and on instead of him is another corner forward who is Kevin Larkin. And so then Noel O'Shea from St. Senan's makes way from the game with about 6 minutes of it left, and in instead of him will be Kevin Larkin. Meanwhile, below me, the Kilkee fans in the stand clap off Noel O'Shea like he's going to have a county medal in his pocket tonight. Indeed, he might do so unless Kilrush and Donald O'Sullivan can do anything about it. Here is O'Sullivan. He's on the 40-yard line. Plays the ball to Frankie Griffin, and Frankie plays it out towards the centre half-back, who's Noel Griffin. Noel Griffin, a right-footed kick from Noel Griffin, and eventually the ball goes over the bar, and Kilrush have found a point that they for so long looked for, and it was the man with number 6, Noel Griffin, who found it. But St. Senan's Kilkee still with a bit of daylight between themselves and the opposition. 5 points of it to be exact. The ball to be taken in the kick out by Kevin Hart. Hart comes out and places it on his 21. As I say, we have just over 5 minutes of football left in this game, plus whatever's to the discretion and of the time assistant and the referee below me. And Kevin Hart takes the kick out. He gets under it well and plays the ball in towards the halfway line, and Michael O'Shea is over to collect it. Shea with the hoop socks comes forward for St. Senan's Kilkee. He's on the 40-yard line. He plays the ball up towards Barry Hart, and Barry Hart comes inside the Kilrush defence. Plays the ball across towards Jerkeen. Jerkeen out towards Michael Keane. Michael Keane across to the far side into the man brought into the action, who's Kevin Larkin. Back it goes towards Michael Keane again. Michael Keane can't get rid of it, and the Shamrocks have it back there in their defence, and it's number 6 who has it, and number 6 is Noel Griffin. Number 6 is fouled. He plays a fairly disappointing free away, however, and Christopher Cowan is back over with the ball. However, there to collect it again for Kilrush is David O'Shea. David O'Shea tries to come forward. DeLockery does ever so well in the centre of the park for St. Senan's Kilkee, and Gary Bond is fouled meanwhile, and Kilrush have themselves another free. And Kevin Brown comes over to collect the ball and tries to take it as quick as possible, and Gary Bond has been told, go up, Gary. They need big men up in the square for Kilrush, as Kevin Brown takes the quick kick, and down it goes towards Frankie Griffin. Frankie Griffin on the 14-yard line, and Frankie is fouled. A wise head on wise shoulders there, Frankie Griffin. He's brought to the ground by David Russell and Brendan Smith, and so then Kilrush have themselves another free, and now this will put it to 4 points between the sides, and who knows what can happen in a county final. David O'Shea will take this one, and he'll take it with the left boot. He is on the right hand side of the goals. It'll favour a left-footed kicker, and up comes David O'Shea, and David sends it high, and he sends it over the bar, and Kilrush Shamrocks are trying to reel in that lead, and they have a small bit of time left to do so. And so then the introduction of Frankie Griffin has given some confidence at least to the Kilrush forwards. That's their second point in a row, and now then it's 10 points for St. Senan's Kilkee, 6 points for Kilrush, 4 points separating the side in the Auburn Lodge Senior Football Final of 2003. Now the assistant linesman is going in to find out how many minutes of injury time will be played, and I think the decision is 2. I think the decision is 2 minutes, and I see a Kilrush selector not very happy with that. We'll have the board going up in a minute for 2 minutes of injury time. Meanwhile, Michael O'Shea, the free is conceded. Dennis Russell has the ball. Dennis Russell is going to take the kick for St. Senan's Kilkee. Michael O'Shea coming a long way back from his attack to help out his defence, and it bears dividends as the men in blue and white have themselves a free. The free is taken towards this far side of the field, and number 14 over to collect it is Barry Hart. Barry Hart tries to come away for Kilkee. The ball is knocked out of his grasp, however, and Gary Bond has it eventually for Kilrush. Gary's Shot is half blocked and it comes down towards Frankie Griffin. Frankie comes out and collects it and tries to barrel his way forward, and Frankie once again is brought down, and Kilrush have themselves another free. Now they try to pick out loose men. Padder McMahon is one of those going loose. Frankie Griffin puts up a high and hopeful Gary Owen ball. It's in around the house now. It nearly came into the grass, but Padder McMahon did it. Here's Kevin Brown. Kevin Brown tries to bury his way through. Kevin Brown, ball comes back out towards the number 21, and the number 21 is Paul Cal. Cal has a look at the goals and sends it over the bar, and there's a goal between the sides, and Kilrush all of a sudden are deciding to play football. Maybe it's too late when they're deciding to do that, but a goal separates the side. It's 10 points to 7. Kilrush with the last 3 points on the trot. They nearly had a goal chance there as Kevin Brown went forward. Now we saw miraculous comeback the last day from St. Senan's Kilkee with the boot of Dennis Russell. Are we to see a goal today to try and level matters with Kilrush? There is extra time if necessary. Kilkee will throw every man back. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 men behind the halfway line for Kilkee. That's how dearly they want to hold on to their lead in this county final. Donal O'Sullivan, however, tries to do his best to counteract that. He wins the free, and Donal sends it long down towards Padder McMahon. Padder has possession for Kilrush. He's at the edge of the square and he's brought down, and there is 2, 3 men around him for St. Senan's Kilkee. Padder gets it out towards Gary Bond, and Gary Bond gives it back towards David O'Shea. No, here actually is Gary Bond. Gary Bond sends a ball across the face of the goal. Who'll go in with the punch? It's taken by a St. Senan's Kilkee man, and that looks like it's David Russell. David with a red bloated face after some very, very hard work down there, and David wins himself a free out. He's gone to the grass, but referee Michael Talty is having none of it. I still don't see a board shown up here below me. I know for a fact that the referee signalled for 2 minutes, but I haven't heard an announcement, and we wait to see if we're in those 2 minutes of injury time yet. David Russell wins his side the free. He's playing a captain's part, if ever a man played it, this afternoon down there in around his own defending goal mouth to try and cut out Kilrush's attack. Now still Kilrush come in search of that goal which will level matters here in Cusack Park. They have themselves a sideline to help them on their way. Over there to take it will be Gary Bond. Kevin Brown is down there. There's no one at all up at the other end of the field, only for the odd Kilkee man waiting for the counter-attack. Gary Bond plays the ball across the face of the goal. David O'Shea will jump for it. David O'Shea lays it down towards Donal O'Sullivan. Now Donal O'Sullivan bears down on goal. It's given, there's a hand on the ball there as Donal O'Sullivan took a shot from a long distance for goal. I don't know if it would have found the target from that range. It's given, there is a hand pass. There is a hand on the ball there, and it's gone out for a 45, and David O'Shea is going to have to drop this one in, I think. David O'Shea, the young number 10, he has scored 2 points in the second half from this position. He's put one wide from this position, and so then O'Shea will step up and try and put this one in around the house. There's a plethora of green jerseys in around the square, and there's a myriad of blue jerseys as well. It's a long ball. It'll go down as far as number 4, John Griffin, but it's taken out of his grasp, and St. Senan's Kilkee come away with it and have themselves a free, and that's very frustrating there. What is this? It's a throw-in. It's a throw-in. There has been some retaliation on the Kilkee side. I can tell you the 1 or 2 mentors below me thought that that was the final whistle, because referee Talty was throwing his hands up in the air, but it wasn't, and still we'll have some more football in Cusack Park. Are St. Senan's about to bridge the gap of 11 years and take home the Daily Trophy to the seaside town in West Clare after what had been a tragic and very, very sad week back there, and what it would mean to the people of Kilkee to have a small bit of brightness at the end of it. Meanwhile, number 9, John Moody, lays down the ball for Gary Bond to come over. They have themselves another free, and Frankie will take it, will he? Now this won't go over the bar. This will have to go in around the square and cause some confusion in around the Kilkee defence. Kevin Brown has it. The cornerback Brown tries to get inch by inch closer to the goal. Donal O'Sullivan plays across towards David O'Shea. David O'Shea had the shot, but it's blocked down by one of the 10 men standing in front of the ball for Kilkee, and they come away with it. It's a long booted clearance. The Kilkee fans at the far side think it's all over. It's not yet, however. It comes down, and over there collected is the fullback, who is Martin Griffin, and Martin has Kilrush men in front of him. The ball is half blocked. It comes over towards Barry Hart, and Barry Hart lets it out towards Jarkeen. Jarkeen does ever so well, plays a long ball forward. It's all over, and the Jack Daly Trophy is going to go back to Kilkee tonight, and they rejoice at the far side of the field. It's their near neighbours who it's won at the expense of, and that is Kilrush Shamrocks. But below me, Kilkee, who've waited 11 years for this day to bring home the Daily Cup back to West Clare and back to Kilkee. Well, they've waited, but the wait is over in Cusack Park, and it's a pity that a wait from 1987 can't come to fruition today either. And I can tell you now, as Brian McNamara below us hobbles over, Brian McNamara, who was injured in the first half of that match and was stretchered off, will go on with his teammates to rejoice. What a day for Kilkee football at the end of such a tragic and disappointing week for West Clare. Kilrush, the losers, the victors, their near neighbours, St. Senans, on a final scoreline in Cusack Park here in the Auburn Lodge 2003 football final. The crown champion St. Senans Kilkee, they scored 10 points, Kilrush Shamrocks 7 points.
Agus a gcuine ósla eile, agus go háirithe muintir Kilrush agus muintir Kilkee. Ar son costa chun an chlár cógádas don gáin an seáinneomh. Go háirithe ar son gá cluiche úntacha. And I'd like to congratulate both teams and both parishes on 2 wonderful games of football, and I think they deserve a rousing round of applause for the tremendous quality of football. And I have to compliment both teams, their mentors, their panels, and their parishes for displaying over 2 different days all that is best in Clare football. And anyone that thinks that Clare football is down, they'd want to come here and see the exhibition over the last 2 days. So got a míle maith with Kilrush agus Neve Shannon. Congratulations on a wonderful game of football, and we know that it's not long until Kilrush will be bringing this trophy home. But this day, it belongs to the men from further west, and after a very difficult week, and we send commiserations to all involved in last week's tragedy, I'm delighted for Kilkee today that they were able to come here and give the exhibition of football that they gave, and I congratulate your team, your panel, your mentors, your club, and your parish. Well done, Kilkee. I want to compliment and to thank Michael Talty and his team of officials for the magnificent way in which you refereed both games. Well done, Michael, and your officials. And I know David is anxious to get this cup and bring it to Kilkee, but before he does, I wish, on behalf of all the people of Clare, all GA people here, and I know I have the backing of Kilrush as well, that we wish you, David, and your team the very best of luck in the Munster Club Championship, and hope you can bring another trophy to Clare. So now it gives me great pleasure to present this prestigious trophy, the Blue Ribbon of Clare football, to a deserving captain, David Russell.
Tána Sorum, a Conchana Glaka, your friend, Kilkee. That's enough for the Irish. John, these days we have to thank a few people. I thank the club for a tremendous effort, the players, and of course the players. They put in some amount of effort this year, lads. And thanks be to God, it came through for us. I'd like to thank our selectors, Kieran Marnin, Joe Shea, Martin Doherty, Ger Keane and Jimmy Murray. Well done, lads. And as Father Max said, somebody has to win and somebody lose. But fair play to Kilrush. There's 2 great games of football. Fair play. It was a sad week in the town of Kilkee. But I'd just like to say to the Mahoney family and the Ock family, we remember in your thoughts. I'd just like to say 3 cheers for the Kilrush team. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip. On the Blues.
Well, I want just before David leaves the arena and heads to Kilkee with the celebrations and for the celebrations to compliment Seamus O'Reilly and the County Express and Martin Donnelly for sponsoring the top scorer. And in case there wouldn't be enough trophies in the Russell family, we'll now call Dennis here and to receive the top scorer award. Well done, Dennis. Well done, well done, well done, well done. Now, I'd like to call on Pascal Hind from Martin Donnelly to present the trophy to Dennis Russell, a worthy recipient of the trophy. And Pascal.
Yeah, Dennis, top scorer award.
Well done. Pascal, do you want to do the present?
Ger Keane, firstly congratulations on a well-earned county football senior crown. Firstly, Ger, a lot of people thought here leaving Cusack Park the last day in the drawn game that Kilkee had missed their chance. Okay, what do you say to those people? What happened in the 2 weeks since?
Well, in fairness, we sat down and we analysed the first game, and we saw a lot of positive things that we did well, and we saw a lot of negative things as well that we could improve on. So we sat down, we analysed what went wrong, and we had a good meeting last night, and you know, we had a game plan, and I think we stuck to that game plan, and I think the result was a product of that last night.
No problem. And of course, Ger, today the wind was even a small bit more fiercer than the last day. Maybe the rain wasn't there. A lot of people thought even here in Cusack Park today that you might have kicked away the game in the first half. What was said at half time to change that?
Well, we said that before the game that if we went in at 2 points each or 3 points each, if it was level, that we were happy enough. So when we went in 2 points up, and we were happy enough. We weren't going to panic. It's very hard to break down that Kilrush team because they play 4 big men across the middle. So we were happy enough to catch them on the counter-attack, and I think any score we got, we kind of caught them on the break.
And for such a sad and tragic week to Kilkee, what does this mean for the town to win this here today?
Jeez, it means everything. You know, it was such a tragedy, and there was such a cloud over the town all week, and even at training Wednesday night, lads found it very hard to lift themselves. So it's an awful credit to the lads on the team and the management, you know, the way they lifted themselves there today, and you know, to come out and you know, we possibly could have got another few scores to win by even more, but you know, it'll give a great lift to the town, and you know, we've Munster Club next week now, but you know, we'll
I was just going to say, is it too early to talk about Drum Broadford?
We're not even going to think about it now for a few days. I tell you, we're going to celebrate for a couple of nights, and I tell you, there'll be a few lads fairly shook now, but we'll be ready for next week.
Ger Keane, congratulations and well done.
Thanks, man.
Ger, firstly congratulations and well done on your county football medal. A lot of people thought that the last day you were lucky to get to a replay here today. Where do you think it was won and lost today?
Well, I suppose we couldn't have come much closer to being beaten the last day than we actually did, you know. I mean, and we were delighted to get the second bite of the cherry today, you know. I mean, a lot of lads you'll never get a chance maybe to redeem yourself if you don't play well the first day, you know. But I think today we knew that the middle of the field was crucial, you know. And I mean, I think we did a bit better in the middle of the field today than we did the last day, and I think we managed to get the ball into the forwards a bit more quickly today because of the dry conditions, and it kind of more or less paid dividends in the end, you know.
Kilrush, of course, a hard team to break down. The last day was a great ding-dong in midfield. Today, I think your forwards done the business. In the second half, they came and worked so hard for the scores, and he broke them in the counter-attacks.
They did, yeah. I mean, I remember at one stage there, even in the first half, I saw, I think it was a corner forward back, almost in the corner back position, you know, and he got a block on someone. But I mean, I think the key today was us managing to get fast ball into the forwards, you know. Like Kilrush are big and strong and physically strong at the back, and I mean, one-on-one, you're always going to struggle to break them down, you know, but quick ball in and use our pace in the forwards, which we have in abundance, you know, and I think we managed to do that today.
Can you give us an indication, Joe, what it takes to win a county senior football crown? What kind of an effort was put in this year?
Well, I mean, there was a huge effort put in this year. I mean, to be honest about it, you know, everyone puts in a huge effort every year, and I really don't know what was different about this year, but I think at the end of the day it boiled down to the panel of players having a will to win this year that we often maybe lacked in the past, you know, and I think everyone from 1 to 30 this year put in an immense effort, and you know, it paid dividends today, you know. I mean,
will you celebrate tonight?
Well, I'd say we'll probably celebrate tonight and maybe tomorrow, but I think we've the first round of the Munster Club next week, so we'll probably get back training maybe Tuesday night, you know. But I mean, it's been 11 years, so I mean, we'll definitely celebrate a couple of nights anyway.
No problem. Well done and congratulations, Ger Craddock. David Russell, Victoria's Kilkee captain. David, how do you feel right now?
It's a total shock, but it hasn't set in yet. But what we've done in the honour of being captain of the team, especially, like, you know. But I'd say during the week he'll set in, like, you know. It's going to be some honour, I'd say.
A lot of people thought lucky to salvage draw the last day. What do you think was the difference between the last day and here today?
We played today. I mean, the dry going as well. Like we played awesome stuff there on the dry ground. Like our forwards could get hold onto the ball the first time and move.
It was the second half performance really that brought Kilrush away. A long time they went searching so hard for scores, but yet when you got the ball up the other end of the field on the break, you found it easy to score for a finish.
Yeah, well, they battled things up the last week. Once the space was there again, we exploited. Like we fast forwards and they opened it up big time.
Yeah, what does it take to win a county final like this? What does it take, the effort from the start of the year to today?
We're training now since last January nearly, like, you know. It takes an amount of effort. Like we must have nearly 60 sessions done, like, you know, and so they're out there every Tuesday and Thursday night in the rain and the cold, like, you know, and it's grand during the summer, like, you know, but the amount of effort between everyone is just unbelievable, from selectors down to all the way through players, like, and chairman and whatever, like, we've been well looked after this year, like, all year, like, you know, whatever we wanted we've got, like, and stuff, you know, so it's just a great boost for the club. It's been 13 years now, or what, 91 was the last time we won in 92, so, you know, it's a long time. It's a great boost for the town as well, like, you know.
It's well worth waiting for, all right. I was just saying to Ger Keane there, and I was just saying to Ger Craddy as well, after such a tragic week in Kilkee, this means a whole lot, of course.
It means an awful lot. You know, we knew, a lot of us knew the families personally, like, you know, and the town was an awful downer there during the week, like, you know, 2 funerals and stuff like that, you know, but we did it for them, like, you know, we bring it home now tonight, like, and it's for them families that we did it as well, like, you know.
And a word for Kilrush, the near neighbours, going home a small bit disappointed tonight.
It's sickening now, like, you know, because they put in the same effort as we did, like, you know, but at the end of the day there could be one winner, like, you know. So.
David, is there another honour coming into Kilkee this year? Is it too early to talk about Drumbradford?
Tuesday evening when we go back training, we'll talk about Drumbradford.
You have a fine side when you're able to spray the ball around. I think a better football inside than Kilrush here this afternoon. There should be no need, especially what's in your own back garden.
Yeah, we should be well good enough maybe for Drumbradford. We'll have a go at them anyway. I mean, Everton and from after winning the county title was going to be a bonus anyway for us. Like 13 years, long time to wait.
It is indeed, and you'll savour tonight.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Sure. Well done, boys. Congratulations.
No bother. Good luck.
Okay, Jimmy Murray enjoying the last connection, of course, from last 1992. It was worth waiting for.
Oh, definitely worth waiting for. It was one of the bogeys I suppose we had left behind us as players in our time. We were never able to beat Kilrush. They beat us here, I think, in 81 or something like that, but it was lovely just to turn the tables today.
How do you think that the game, where do you think it was won today?
I think right from the very start, I think we were a lot more comfortable on the ball today. Maybe the weather conditions helped us a lot, but from day one everybody just seems to be quite comfortable getting in the tackles, getting on the ball. It's a completely different game looking at it from the sideline than the last day anyhow. We didn't seem to be under as much pressure.
And what does this mean for Kilkee, for football, in footballing terms? What does this mean for Kilkee?
Oh, it's a great victory for Kilkee because we have a very young team there. We have played 23 or 4 guys, maybe 25 after today in the championship so far. Probably 6 or 7 minors in that as we went along. So, and there's probably 3 or 4 minors that are just about being pipped for places at the moment. So hopefully it will be very healthy for Kilkee.
It'll be some night in town tonight.
I'd say we'll enjoy a few anyhow.
Thanks very much, Jimmy.
Thank you.
I'm joined now with Donal Hayes, county chairman of the St. Senan's Kilkee team. Donal, tell us what the indication, give us an indication of what it takes to win a county championship for a club structure and for a team like this.
For a club structure, it takes an effort from everybody from the top down, from chairman right down to the last sub, like they're all involved, all very much involved. Put all the effort in since last March. Players have been training 2 or 3 nights a week. We've been there supporting them, and at the end of the day, it's come good.
The future looking good now for St. Senans as well?
Future's looking good for St. Senans, like it's 11 years since they won it, so hopefully we won't have to wait as long again.
And more organising through, of course, for Drum Broadford next week. Will you think about that for a few days?
Yeah, well, we'll think about it Tuesday or Wednesday maybe.
Well done. Well done. Kieran Marnon, is this the end of the Doonbeg dynasty, do you think, Kilkee, to take their place now for a while in Clare football?
Clare football, as you know, it changes from year to year. I think nobody's won Clare football 2 years in a row in a while, you know, but Doonbeg will be back again next year. Can't right out Doonbeg. They're a good team, good club, good structure.
Where do you think your Celtic game was won and lost today?
I think most of the games we played this year, we'd have it falling behind very early in the game. But today we went the 4 points up to very early, and we kind of kept that lead the whole time.
And at half-time, I thought anyway that maybe with the strong wind behind you in the first half, you might have actually kicked the game away. What was said at half-time to change that?
A few courses, a couple of switches made at half-time, you know. But in any game we play better against the breeze because we can carry the ball and we use a 2-man through forward line. And the boys inside get space and they've plenty of options for scoring.
That's what it was. A word for your forwards. It was really a lot of space on the counter-attacks. When Kilrush worked so hard for scores in the second half, you were able to go over and slot them over with ease.
Yeah, we kept 2 very fast lads inside the full forward line. When the ball came up, they were able to run, get the ball and take the Kilrush backs on and notch over not 1 or 2 points at vital times.
Josh, what do you think this means for the club, for the young lads in the club looking here today in Cusack Park to keep St. Senans football going for the future?
It's a great lift, Tom, and it's a long time coming. It's 11 years since we won, and we really needed to win a championship. But we have a group of young lads even that didn't play today. We have 17, 18-year-olds who are very good because we had a good minor team this year and they were unfortunately beaten in the semi-final, barely beaten. But they'll be coming in now, and maybe later on in Cusack Cup semi-final or maybe even in the beginning of the Munster Club we might have to use 1 or 2 of them because of injuries.
If you were looking back now at the start of the summer and look at Kilkee's championship as a whole, where do you think it was won and lost? What was the day that gelled these players together?
It was an attitude among the players themselves, you know, and it crept from everywhere, from the mentors and from the club in general, because they were backed very much by the club. And the players, they just, I suppose they were sick of losing too, you know. But all this year, we've never given up. We've been close to being beaten in games, and we have never given up. And even the last day now was a milestone for us because we came from behind and we drew the match. So it was a big lift going into today's game.
And after such a tragic week in Kilkee, really, it's heartening at the end of the day to have some bit of happiness anyway back there. It was a great day for the town today.
Well, nothing will make up for the loss of 2 young children, 2 young girls in Kilkee, but just maybe bring a smile to somebody's face this weekend. But at the same time, we think of those people, and there are 2 grieving families. They're still grieving in Kilkee, and that won't go away for a long, long time. And it's so sad.
Joe, thanks a million.
Right, thank you.
Well, that's about it from Cusack Park on a day when it'll be another year that Kilrush can wait to bring back the Jack Daly Trophy to West Clare's maiden town, and on a day when St. Senans Kilkee, after such a tragic week, bridged an 11-year gap and were crowned Auburn Lodge Senior Football Champions for 2003. It was 2 drawn games, it was a long road to the final, and a very, very long final panned out over 2 days as well. But heartiest congratulations Kilkee and commiserations for Kilrush. Of course, that's it from Cusack Park, from Joe Fennick and Darren Carroll.